And we're back. Like we never left. But we did. I ain't sit here in this room since last week. I did some 2 weeks ago. I did some. I hope. I really, really hope. For your sake, not mine, that you have been in motion, that you are self-observing, that you are doing the work so that the work gets done. Because no one can do this shit but you. And supposedly you're doing it for you because you're watching this because you are a dreamer. But beyond that, you've left the state of dreams and entered into reality, and you're now ready to become the reality weaver, the builder. We dream when we sleep. Get the fuck up. Get the fuck out. Go get some. We gonna bleep that out? Cause Nick wants it clean. But we back. And today's volume, as we observe our journey to personal development and greatness, is, Blake, if you would do the honors.
Being centered.
Now, we are going to stay at the specificity of a certain realm in being centered. And that is specifically the masculine energy, the feminine energy, and the need for balance, i.e., centered. You want to start this one off?
As I like to call it, the androgynous energy. We were talking earlier, and I asked the question, do people really understand what it is to be masculine? Or are we just projecting what we feel masculine, feminine, divine, or not? Are we projecting that from what we feel we choose to repress and what we fail to acknowledge about ourselves? When we deny things, they don't disappear. So we have to first understand that, yes, there is a masculine energy and there is a feminine energy. But behind that, there is a union of both. Duality is not a reality. The first dimension is the unity. After that, the self sees itself from other perspectives, other dimensions. Now you have duality. One of the things that we were talking about, why do we often lean towards one side of the spectrum instead of culminating and coming together with balance? We could say trauma. We can say it's by social design. What else do you think it could be?
Besides social design, as in societal conditioning, nomenclature of society as it's existed, because power structures are put in place to maintain power for those that had procured it in the first place. The modality of observation of an individual has shifted over time, and there's a loss of honest observation.
Transparency.
Because everything has become so skewed just for the sake of being skewed.
And you're not even talking about the internal.
No.
Yeah, you're talking strictly, yeah. See, I feel that now, and I'm not saying just in today's society, but even a few years back, decades, people looking at masculine energy, feminine energy, figures who embody these energy, these types, I think that they feel that they're directly assigned to men and women. And I think that's a misconception. I think we have to look beyond that. Because if we're talking about balance, then that means that somewhere inside every one of us, there is an opportunity to exude both sides of the spectrum. So that would negate the fact that masculinity is simply for men and femininity is simply for women. If you take what they both mean, masculine, positive energy, projection, purpose, and then you take femininity. You have negative, you have the womb, you have the receiver, you have a different aspect. So if you can bring together both of those energies, you can now create. You have the purpose, the masculine energy, and then you have the feminine energy, which is there as the mission. That is there to reinforce the purpose, that we stay on task. So if I'm to do that in any type of relationship in this world, where does that have to start first?
Internally.
Exactly. But again, if I've been growing up and I've told that crying is a feminine quality, or not realizing that I need to exude my feminine essence for my creativity, my ability to multitask, my ability to not be a logical thinker all the time, but also be compassionate, be a receiver. Allow myself to impregnate my thoughts with my desires. And that is how I can create the reality that I truly deserve and desire. Because I'm now bringing together in union both energies that I innately have.
Where do you think the connotation of the feminine energy being negative came from? Because if anything, wouldn't the masculine energy resonate more on the lens of what negative is perceived by definition, since men are the destroyers, men are the ones that go to war. We are the ones that our minds are hardwired for violence and danger. Wouldn't that innately? I feel like it was a guy that was like, femininity, that shit negative. I got it into negative and positive. It's so
I can't be feeling this type of shit.
Yeah, nah, because like I was observing, I was like, because of polarity, and we're looking at dualism and duality, and true duality as being two ends of the most extreme opposite existing on a continuum, meaning they are one in and of the same. They're just on different points of the continuum. There's no such thing as darkness, just the absence of light.
Yeah, the projection.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think to become more palatable and have more reach, I don't think it's neither negative nor positive. Because if those are the mutable, right? They're part of the immutables. They can't be negative or positive. They just are. Negative and positive is part of man's design. Those words and the concept in and of itself. Like, what is negative?
So I think the connotation comes from, okay, like I said before, you have the purpose, which is the masculine. That is the thought, the mental, the mind. And then you have the mission, which is there. It's, again, one and in of the same. So once the positive or the projection or the purpose is established, the mission is right there to meet it. So again, Diablos, devil, one who creates obstacles. If I am here in my purpose and I'm seeing, because of the lens that I have, that the reinforcement for me to stay on my purpose, I'm seeing it as something that's pulling me off course, I can now deem that as a negative. And I think that maybe one area where they have assigned a negative connotation to it, because if I'm looking at a lens where it's not opportunity and it's actually an obstacle, now I'm looking at it as far as this may be something that can potentially take me off my course. But it's not there to take you off the course, but that can be a byproduct if you see it as such. It's there as a reinforcement. That's like me saying I was in the zone today and I just kept feeling this energy trying to pull me off my course. Negative people or just different conversations around taking me out of my zone, my element. But really, it's the opportunity for you to keep exercising the patience, the compassion, the will, the diligence, the vigilance, the awareness to further stay on the purpose. But because my mindset and my perspective is now skewed, I'm looking at this shit as like, these motherfuckers trying to take me off my game. And really, it's just the universe answering your desires.
Your request.
Exactly. So, and I'm pretty sure there's other ways that we can look at, and they've assigned that negative connotation. But, I mean, like I said, I like to refer to it as the purpose and the mission. You can say it as the phallus and the womb, because people talk about it all the time. If I want to create something, I have to impregnate a thought into my conscious, subconscious.
Inception.
So, exactly. So I have to be receptive. That receiver, I guess, going off of, look at the battery. The positive, the masculine, is the part that projects, and then you have the receiver. So we built society off of that because it was easier for people to, I guess, understand and take that much work. Because now it's like, if I have those two distinguished, because again, duality is not the reality. It's a projection of the self choosing. But behind that, you have unity. You have the tri-unity.
Law of one.
Yeah. After one, what else exists?
0.
Well, I think that's
binary.
Is that before?
Binary code.
Is that before one?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Zero,
yeah, after
0,
one.
1.
Yeah.
0, 1. That's all that exists. Zeros and ones. Interesting.
But again, I mean, we what do we say? Everyone has needs. Everyone is in nature, in their own nature. Everybody has the ability to autonomously or self-autonomously move. But if I'm putting what society expects from me over what I innately have inside of me, there's always going to be a conflict. I'm putting my own personal needs and nature to the side to now operate for something other than.
But that
a
means
divine
that
source.
means that nobody is being actually like reared specifically for the continuation of societal constructs, when there are literally people whose whole existence is the furtherance of the societal construct. That's their existence. I don't want to claim to know what their state of the divine is, because their experience is their own, but they exist with fervor.
Simply for that aspect of
Maintaining
keeping that alive, that status quo. See, I think also too, we often mix up our description of reality with our truth or our experience with reality. Because we're only going to describe things from the lens and the perspective of what we think we know. But that doesn't actually give you a definition or a true depiction of reality. That's, again, taking it from a personal lens. So if we continue to, talk about my experience is the truth, my life, my narrative is the truth, at what point do you take yourself out of the narrative, the story, the experience, the trauma, and you actually say, no, I experienced it. Yes, I was present, but I'm no longer looking at it through the lens of the inner child. Now I'm doing it as the observer. And then when you look at it from that angle, you're starting to see everything in nature is identical. There's nothing that's not connected. There's nothing that is here just because. Everything is related.
Law of one.
So law of oneness. So again, we go back to that. We're now looking at these two polarizing energies, and it's like they complement each other. They don't compete with each other. They know that they hold a certain space. They know that they have certain features. They have a certain purpose individually, but coming together. So we're going to go outside of ourselves to keep trying to solve this unsettling feeling that we're not whole.
Yes, Jesus. is wrong with
outta
you?
here.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Yes.
That should have made no sense.
Oh, it does make sense because everyone is not
anymore.
Yeah, everybody is not here to free themselves from the matrix, quote unquote. Everyone is not here to be Galileo. Everyone is not here to be a philosopher, a free thinker. There are those that exist to exist in the realm that they exist. And it behooves us to overstand and consistently go back to the state of observation, because without them, we wouldn't even have the wherewithal to understand the depths of who, how, and why we are. Duality, they're just reflections of us on a different point on the continuum.
Reflections of the one.